Well, good morning and welcome to the aforementioned Grow Omaha show. Jeff Beals at your service from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate Company. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing, Omaha's outstanding premier commercial and residential roofing contractor. Well, you're not going to find another show anywhere in the metro area that talks about businesses expanding, construction projects, growing the economy. It's kind of fun stuff to talk about. If you're new with us, just stay with us, and I think you'll really get into it because everyone loves talking about positive things about the city in which they choose to live. Well, I don't want to take any more time before the moment you've all been waiting for, and that is the introduction of my co-host, a man I like to refer to as the legendary real estate deal maker, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Beals. Good morning, Brad Williams.
Good morning.
So there's your Brad Williams introduction right there. Brad Williams is the owner of Brad Williams Photography and also with E&A Consulting, civil engineering firm here in Omaha. And you all know Brad because he is our major contributor on the show, and he always joins us when we do
The quarterly call-in show.
That's right. We're going to be taking calls later today. After the news segment, 402-558-1110, we will take your calls. But before that, fellas, I do want to bring up something, and that is we're having a very active weekend in our city. The swim trials and the College World Series are going on simultaneously today. And if I were a downtown merchant, I'd be pretty excited.
A long time coming. It was a slow year last year, to say the least.
Yeah. And I've been downtown a couple of times this week, and you definitely can feel the energy. You definitely get the sense that the pandemic locally is behind us. I mean, it's still there in the world, but locally it sure appears to be behind us, and it's a great feeling. It was so nice the couple of times I've been in downtown this week just to see people walking around and like it was in 2019 before all the craziness happened.
Well, and I attended a lot of the swim trial sessions so far, and I can't imagine the College World Series is at full capacity.
Yeah.
That's a major milestone for a pandemic.
Yeah, it is. In fact, that will probably be one of the larger crowds in the country right now, because there are still some states that are far more restricted than Nebraska. I mean, most of them are opening up or getting close to 100% capacity, but a lot of them aren't as recent in that. And I think there's still a couple, like, wasn't it just yesterday Michigan let go of some of their restrictions?
Finally, yeah.
Yeah, they were one of the long holdouts. But at any rate, so a lot of stuff to look forward to. We do want to go into our news of the week, and that, as always, is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. You can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com, or you can find them in person at 114th and Davenport. But let's say you are sick of living in your parents' basement. Or let's say you're having to stay with your in-laws because you sold your house and you're having a hard time finding a new house in this competitive market.
I'm sure your in-laws are fine people.
Right. Everyone.
And I'm sure they act like they want you there.
Everyone who likes their in-laws would nevertheless not want to live with their in-laws. And so if you are living with your in-laws because you sold your house and you have nowhere to live, you need to be armed with a weapon that will help you in this competitive housing market. And that weapon is a pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage. So you go get this pre-approval letter, and it doesn't matter whether you're going to do the FHA, VA, or conventional loan. That is like a shield and a sword all in one. Because if you're in a competitive situation, no seller is going to want to even talk to you, look at you, or think about you if you are not pre-approved. And so in this day and age, you have to do that. Here's something that's just important. The people at Eagle Mortgage will sit down with you and talk to you and communicate well and give you peace of mind because they know what they're doing and they love customer service. All right, so you can find them, like I said, eaglemortgagecompany.com. All right, fellas, a couple things that are in the news. The big story is construction outside Eppley International Airport has started. Plans call for a new elongated roadway, driveway, or entrance into the terminal, which will help with better flow and efficiency. A lot of lighting, a lot of landscaping, also significant improvements in terms of traffic flow, wayfinding in the south parking garage. Going to make
Larger spots.
which is definitely needed in that south parking garage. But guys, what's exciting to me about this project is that you could say it literally paves the way for the thing we're really excited about down the road, which is the potential terminal expansion. So, Brad, I know you've been following that Epley expansion or the potential Epley expansion for some time. What were your thoughts when you saw this $20.3 million project announcement?
Well, like you said, it's paving the way for the next project, and I think everyone's waiting for the next project to kind of fill in that space between the two terminals and have one nice long concourse.
Yeah, it will be great. And now the south parking garage will remain open during this period of time. But, fellas, it's not going to really affect me.
They're going to have a quick ramp to the third floor, too.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
That I'm very curious to see how that ends up working and looking like. But as I told you, this is not going to affect me because a couple years ago when they opened up the north garage, I became a north garage parker.
Even if you're flying
Yep. I'm 100% north garage
the
parker.
south terminal.
Yeah, because in fact, I said this once before on the show, and I was afraid I might regret it because I don't want to give too many people the same idea. But there are so many spots in that north garage, and it's so much easier to find a spot there. I just
Well,
go
let's see
straight
what
to
happens
it.
after the pandemic because flights are filling up.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point, but we shall see. Anyway, encouraging stuff there. All right, speaking of construction, Chamber came out with a report. It was actually the April Economic Indicators Report. And yeah, I know it's June, but it takes a while to kind of get these economic statistics because they have to be, well, first of all, it takes some time and doing to gather them, and then you have to assemble them or whatever. So these are April statistics, which just came out. And are you ready for this? Commercial construction, April 2021 compared to April of 2020, a 311% increase. Residential single-family construction, 22% increase. And before you start saying things like, but, April 2020 was the pandemic, actually things were still happening last spring on the construction front.
I don't want to be a doubting Trenton, but did they also compare it to the 2019 numbers?
I didn't read that part.
Okay.
I didn't read that part. But now
You understand what I'm saying. I'd like to see it compared to 2019 numbers just to really show, but I'm sure it's even higher than 2019 numbers, which was a great year.
Well, and I think it probably is too. And if for no other reason than anecdotally, the three of us probably spend a fair amount of time going around looking at real estate and projects and construction sites and whatever. And there have been periods of time where we've had bigger projects or higher profile projects. There was a period of time in which we had 7 tower cranes over the Med Center itself. But I don't think I ever remember a time in which there were so many projects spread out over every single part of the metro area.
And that's a great softball, Jeff, for getting on our YouTube page, the Growmar YouTube page, and look for the Brad Williams Grow Omaha monthly construction update.
Yeah, I've been all over town, and there's stuff going on everywhere. And, I think you're talking about last year. The only thing that really slowed down or stopped was the applied underwriters, but everything else just kept going like there was no pandemic. And construction last year was crazy, and this year just has accelerated even.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Hey, one other little thing that is somewhat statistical, and that is a study by Smart Asset that was released just recently revealed that Omaha is the number 4 best market in the United States of America for first-time home buyers. And that is because we ranked particularly high on percentage of people under 45 who own their own home. We ranked really we had very advantageous rankings for low unemployment, low foreclosure rate. So that's really, really encouraging. The only cities that were ahead of us on the list were Nashville, Tennessee, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Boise, Idaho. But other than that, we were 4. Lincoln was 16, and Kansas City and one of the Kansas City suburbs were in the top 25. So we're looking pretty good on that front.
We'll take it.
We will take it. And that is your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. EagleMortgageCompany.com. They know mortgages, and they would love to work with you. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do a short conversation with our good friend Eric Obremt, who is the owner of D&M Roofing. And then after that, Katie bar the door. The floodgates are open, which means it will be time for you to call 402-558-1110, 402-558-1110. Anything that's on your mind about growth and development of Omaha, call now so you get yourself in the queue and get a spot, and we're going to be looking forward to talking to you. You're listening to Jeff Beals, Trenton Magid, and Brad Williams on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Give us a call, 402-558-1110. If you're wondering what's going on at the corner of State and Main, what's going on at the corner of Broadway and Locust, why doesn't Omaha have this, or when are we going to get that? We'll take all of those types of Grow Omaha questions. 402-558-1110. Jeff Beals, Trenton Magid, and Brad Williams at your service. We are brought to you by NAI NP Dodge. Our other sponsor is D&M Roofing, and we have the owner of D&M Roofing, Eric Obremt, on the hotline. Good morning, Eric.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. We'd be better if you were here with us like you normally are, but you're so busy with your fast-moving life that we couldn't get you in the studio today.
I have been busy. I didn't get home last night from my flight till about 2:30 in the morning, and then had a sales meeting this morning, and I just had to be here for the guys. So I appreciate you guys letting me call in.
Absolutely, Eric. Yeah, it's an exciting time for anyone who works in the construction business, and roofers are no different. So much activity going on right now with all of the great economy that's happening, and I imagine you guys are probably just moving a million miles a minute.
We are. We're pretty. We're pretty busy. We're pretty fortunate. We could always use a hailstorm, so everybody can go ahead and pray for that. But
Hail gods.
But no, we're doing well. We're doing really well. So I appreciate that.
Well, Eric, you had some news about a kind of a community project that you guys at D&M Roofing have been pursuing lately. Tell us about that.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. I really wanted to take a couple of minutes and just let everybody know what was going on. We did a.
Oh, Delaney, we lost Eric. I think you're back, Eric.
Hold on a sec.
Okay, we lost you for a second.
Hold on, I'm coming. Switched off my
Live radio.
Switched off my Bluetooth. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Folks, this is live radio. This is how sausage gets made. If you ever wanted a behind-the-scenes look, lift up the curtain. You're getting it right now, at least an audio version of it.
I'm back. I'm back. Stupid phones. Sorry. Yeah, so we do every year for the last 3 years, we do a roof giveaway for a veteran. And so this year we did a I don't want to call it a contest, but we had people apply and nominate friends of theirs that were that needed a free roof, and for different reasons. Some people just had old roofs. We had one fellow that had gotten nominated. He didn't know that he was nominated, and it turned out that he had somebody come out a few years ago and look at his roof and said that there was some damage. They had the insurance company come out and they said, nope, no damage, and now we're not going to insure you unless you get a new roof. And they were kind of stuck, and they're like, well, we can't afford to put a roof on right now. And they're like, well, you don't have any insurance. So it was a really bad situation, and so we went ahead and we got them set up, and they're going to get a free roof. We're actually doing it on Tuesday next week, and we're going to have our big storm trailer down there, and we're going to be doing lunch and all that kind of stuff. But we wanted to do a little bit more this year than just give away a roof. And we have a very close relationship with the VFW down in Millard, and just a bunch of great guys down there. We put their roof on for them about 2.5 years ago, I think, from hail damage. And, they were obviously directly affected by COVID. they weren't able to have their gatherings and, be able to make the money that they do to keep their club open. And so we decided to do a fundraiser for them this year. And we gathered up about 30 sponsors that donated all kinds of really cool gifts that are going to be in a raffle. We're having a big party tonight at 4:00. You can buy tickets at the door. It's only $10. All the money from the raffle, from the silent auction, and from the tickets, you're going to get food, and you get a drink ticket with that. And all the money goes straight to the VFW. We're projecting that there's going to be anywhere from 150 to 250 people attending tonight. And one thing that I can tell you is that the guys down at the VFW in Millard, they know how to throw a party.
So where is it located, or how do people get a hold of this event?
Yes, sir. Let's see here. I got an address that Lindsay gave me. It is 5083 South 136th Street. So it's right down there off of Q, down by the old Dairy Queen in Millard.
Yeah.
Right off of Q and 136.
Yeah, every time I go to that Dairy Queen, I see that VFW. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep, and they got a pretty new roof if you drove by recently.
See, and I'm going to go see it. And, you always have to, for us, you always have to do food landmarks. As soon as you're like, oh, Millard Dairy Queen. Yeah, no problem. Know exactly where it is.
Yep. I know exactly where that's at, yeah. So, I just wanted to get the word out and let people know. And if they're looking for something to do tonight, we sure would appreciate anybody that wanted to stop by and be part of the event and help those guys out down there. They've done obviously a lot for us and just in history in the past, right? And if we can't go out and figure out a way to help our veterans and things like that, then what's the point? What are we doing?
Well, God bless you, Eric, and your colleagues at D&M Roofing. We appreciate you doing that, and much continued success to you. We'll get you back next time we have the call-in show.
Sounds good, Jeff. Thanks, guys, for giving me a minute.
You bet. All right, see you, buddy. That's Eric Obremt, owner of D&M Roofing. Okay, telephone call time, 402-558-1110. 402-558-1110. And Jim is our first caller today. Good morning, Jim, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. My question is, they tore down a building that I think was used for people that had family at Emmanuel Hospital, and that building has been torn down. I was wondering what's going in at the northeast corner of 72nd and Sorensen Parkway.
Okay, was this a building that was maybe about, 8 stories or something like that?
No, it was
Two-story, right?
a single-story building.
Single?
Okay.
I know there's a Village Inn up there that's going to become
It's right across the street from
wash.
Village Inn.
Okay. Yeah. Brad, what were you going to say?
I saw it when we had the Village Inn on the Grow Omaha construction update recently, and I saw it get tore down over there. But I'm pretty sure that they announced what they were putting there, but I don't remember. It's been a while.
Well, and there was some talk about more assisted living type housing, senior housing, and I was under the assumption that there may have been an existing 8-story building or something like that was coming down, or maybe it's an add-on to that.
We can look it up, though.
Yeah, we're going to have to play around with that one and look around. My guess is it's probably something Emmanuel related, but we don't know for sure exactly what that would be. So,
Okay.
Yeah, great question, though. We appreciate you calling in, Jim.
All right, we're 0-1,
Thank you.
fellas.
Okay. 0-1, but, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I think we'll probably end up doing a better job with it any rate. But 402-558-1110 is the number. We have another person, John, who sent in an email question that he wanted to ask, and that is what is going on the northeast corner of 72nd and Dodge? And presumably, he's probably talking about the old Paramount Furniture Store, which is east of the Crossroads and north of, what is that, a Petco there or something? And
FedEx office.
FedEx Kinko's.
South of West Lanes Bowling Center.
Was that Furniture Row?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Paramount goes back a ways, doesn't it?
That was when Trenton and I were little kids, and we're no spring chickens.
And I think you had a few names in between. Hey, wasn't it a waterbed store when we were kids, too?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Was it? It wasn't Big Sur Waterbeds, was it?
My brothers had waterbeds.
I did.
Yeah.
You were cool back in the 80s and 90s if you had a waterbed.
I was always afraid I'd get seasick, so I never purchased a waterbed. but it's a 5-story apartment building.
Yeah,
The swivel.
Yeah.
it's topped out, and it drove by it this morning. It was looking really good.
J Development. I wonder if the bowling alley's going to replace their sign or sell their building because that sign is destroyed.
Oh, I hadn't noticed the sign. How?
You can see through it.
Oh, see that?
The
That's
panels.
that's generally not considered good.
I on the swivel though, I'm interested to see how they reface that old part. Because they kept the original 1-story building and then built the new apartments above it. I'm going to see how they blend all that together. Right now, it's kind of a stark contrast between the two.
And I'm fascinated by that project because I'm sure it made sense to use that old building, but it seemed like they had to do so much to it that as a person who was not involved in the behind the scenes work and does not have access to the dollars and cents behind the project, part of me wondered, how is it not more expensive just to deal with that building than it would have been just to scrape it? And it's not like it was architecturally significant.
I'm guessing that they are way closer to 72nd Street by using the old building than if they scraped it and built a new one.
Oh,
They were able to grandfather in some.
Oh,
That's my guess.
Okay. Otherwise,
It
they'd
was like-
have to be set back, perhaps.
5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer, that Amish furniture place down by this Furniture Mart burnt down.
Yeah.
And they literally kept the front and the 2 side walls just so they could meet the old building codes.
Well, a lot of times when you use
That
the
makes
same
sense.
footprint, McDonald's has done that too on Dodge and different places where
Yeah.
they keep the foundation so they can keep the access points open along the corridor and stuff like that. Another new construction project that people have asked about is on 84th, call it 85th, and Frederick, which is just south of the old Shopko Frederick Square. That's CrossFit Omaha, and they had visibility from L Street, or probably right now they still do, but they've got a big building, tall ceilings, and they went ground up with panels right along the creek right there.
Right,
And,
where Sunrise Nursery was, right?
Exactly, our old stomping grounds.
All right, we're going to take our middle of the show break, but when we come back, the phones are open, 402-558-1110. If there's any question you have about growth and development in Omaha, about projects that are happening, thoughts on something that you wish was happening, as long as it's related to growing Omaha, we'll consider that, 402-558-1110. We have Brad Williams with us from E&A Consulting and Brad Williams Photography. Going to take a break, and you are listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals, Trenton Maggot, and Brad Williams with you today. Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge. This is the call-in show, 402-558-1110. Real quickly, we do want to share with you the Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies, noddlecompanies.com. Noddle Companies is the firm behind some of Omaha's most loved blockbuster developments, not the least of which would be Exarban Village, the Builders District downtown, River's Edge in Council Bluffs, Steel Ridge at Highway 370 and Interstate 80, and some really cool medical office buildings that are going to be rehabbed west of Village Point, and also some residential stuff, including a very nice residential project that is coming to the Blackstone area. At this point in time, though, I do want to do something a little bit different for this report. I'm going to go right back to Brad Williams of Brad Williams Photography. Brad, we had a caller asking about that project or that land by Emmanuel Hospital. You got a little bit of information on that.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to tear down instead of a 44-year-old building, I believe, to build a new assisted living on that same property. I did look for a building permit. I did not see one on a quick search, but it did have a demolition permit for the old one. So
Okay.
maybe they're still working on their building permit, but it sounds like a new assisted living.
Okay. Well, we'll keep our eye on that. And that is your Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies, doing projects in 19 different states. You can find out more about them by going to noddlecompanies.com. Got a couple of callers in the queue. If you want to get in the queue, 402-558-1110. And we're going to start with Carl. Good morning, Carl, and welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. I attended some Chamber of Commerce meetings back several years ago, trying to find out whether the greater metro area was really serious about getting multimodal transportation hub going. The airport has to load stuff onto trucks to get it over to the rail yard, and the model would be Kansas City, west of town. They've got everything coming together in the one spot. Real slick, multimodal transportation, onloading, offloading, and even storage. Has anything new come up in the last 2 or 3 years? Is anybody pursuing it?
I can tell you that when it comes, I've got a client that down on the riverfront, Omaha Transloading, that does a lot of rail, like liquid and lumber and different types of things, where they ship, and Burlington Northern Santa Fe has a big line, and Union Pacific has a big line. So we're getting intermodal that way. But are you talking about from the airport as well?
Well, the airport is kind of a unique situation. They have some rail out there on the west side of the airport, but they really can't take a load from rail and get it to the airport without getting a short haul trucker to come and pick it up, and vice versa. The Council Bluffs situation down near the ethanol plant, the coal-fired power plant, right along the river, there's a large tract that is served by the UP Railroad and others, and it kind of sits there. It doesn't have the rail connection, but it does have the potential for build-out of warehouses.
Yeah, I think you're a little
rapid reloading.
You brought up a good point, and I think that that Omaha's behind a little bit on some of that intermodal distribution, and when Kansas City, Chicago, Denver has such facilities, and Omaha needs to kind of step it up, and hopefully we'll see some of that. But in my 27 years in business, I've only done a few rail-served sites, and it's hard to get the railroads to issue new ones. And I actually got a property for sale down on 3rd and Pierce, where it has full rail and switches and everything, and I get calls from all over the country. So I think it'll pick up in Omaha. But I appreciate the call.
Okay, with that, Carl, we appreciate your call in. Yeah, Illinois has a thing called the logistics corridor, but they build it way outside of Chicago so they could have plenty of room to do some pretty cool stuff with that. I'm going to take one last call before we go to our final break. We do have a couple people in the queue, so stay with us, Tom and Pamela. But first, we're going to Karen. Good morning, Karen. Welcome.
Hi. We live out north of Omaha off Blair High Road, and there is something going on at 117th and State Street. And they just have construction company signs up and nothing else, but it's two huge buildings with overhead doors, and I mean, they're huge.
Are you sure it's 117th? That's not Amazon, is it?
No,
that's on 72nd.
Yeah, Amazon's at 72nd and State.
There's a lot of like flex space going up right now that like a smaller construction company or plumbing company would use, that have the big overhead doors where they can drive their trucks in, load up their supplies. We at work, we've done quite a few of those right now in different parts of town, and it sounds like it could be one of those.
Karen, does it look more industrial?
It does, because they did all the infrastructure, ran the sewers and the water lines under State Street last year, and build up all that ground. I mean, it was a farm field.
It's likely a private a private company building space. Industrial space is in such short supply, and people will go out a lot farther to get affordable land. And as long as they have access to that, sewer and utilities, they will build those. But thank you for the call.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we do appreciate that, Karen. And with that, we're going to take our final break of the hour. But Pamela and Tom, stay with us. We'll get to your calls when we come back. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals, Trenton Magid here. Brad Williams from ENA Consulting and also Brad Williams Photography has joined us as well. And this is your lightning round brought to you by Turner Construction. Don't worry, callers. Stay with us. We'll get to you here in just a second. But the lightning round is when we talk about a lot of things really fast and we take a couple of calls. Turner Construction is our sponsor here, and we are over the moon excited and proud to have them be a part of our team. They're one of the biggest and best construction firms in the entire world. But they do projects at the Omaha level, the local level, the individual small and medium-sized business level. And one of the best things about Turner is that they care so much about not only the quality of the product they deliver to their clients, but the way they treat those clients and the way they treat the employees who serve those clients. Just a good all-around company. In fact, if you or anyone you know who is in the trades here in Omaha who would like to find a premium place to work where you're treated like gold, you want to check out Turner Construction. Their offices here locally are in the Mastercraft building in North Downtown, really cool area, and they do projects all over the metro area, the biggest of which is the Sarpy County Data Center, but they do a lot of much smaller ones as well. Turner Construction. All right, couple of quick little restaurant news updates. QS Steak, which is a Nicaraguan and Salvadorian cuisine restaurant, has opened at 168th and Harrison. The Dandelion Pop-Up, which operates at a outdoor plaza at 13th and Howard, is expanding. They are now going to also do Sunday brunch pop-ups inside the old Flatiron Cafe in the Flatiron Building, 17th and St. Mary's Avenue. Burrito Envy, which is a popular place in Benson, is going to open up a second location in a former Kolache factory restaurant space near 120th and Maple. And Cross Strain Brewing has opened officially its tap room in North Downtown in the Ashton Building, just a line drive hit. About a single or a double away from TD Ameritrade Park. So some good stuff there. Also want to welcome SEI Security and TR Construction. TR Construction does pavement work and things like that to our lineup of sponsors of our newsletter. So that is your lightning round brought to you by Turner Construction. Calls really fast. Let's go to Tom. Good morning, Tom, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. I was questioning, there's a hotel at about 109th and M Street. It's called the Westmont. It's been vacant for probably 4 or 5 years, and I was just wondering what was going on with that, because it's starting to get to be an eyesore.
Yeah. Go ahead. What's happening? The hotel stock in Omaha has really stepped up, and sometimes what I really want to know about as well is 89th and Dodge, or that Holiday Inn Express. They say there's a tidal wave car wash going in front of it, but that thing's been closed for like a year as well. And it's amazing when people have a multi-million-dollar investment and just leave them vacant. So my guess is either they lost their flag with the national hotel chain and they didn't want to do the improvements, or it's on the market, but it's always interesting when you see that happen where you don't see progress on a commercial building.
It was a really interesting interview you guys did with the owner of the Dual Brand Hotel a couple weeks ago, when he said that Omaha had a really dated hotel stock. I never really thought of it that way till he said that, and then I kind of think about the couple new hotels that have gone up, and it is kind of true. The new ones are different.
And we're seeing a couple hotels turn into studio apartments, and
one's going to be assisted living, right? There on
assisted living. Yeah, the Sheridan up on 108th in Old Mill. So thanks for that call.
Yeah, appreciate that, Tom. Trenton nailed it when you talked about the improvement to the hotel stock. A lot of them just got left behind, especially when you throw in the pandemic. All right, we're going to make this our last call of the morning. Pamela, you have that honor. Welcome.
Hi. I was wondering if you could tell me when they're going to start working on the Applied Insurance building by Millard North. It's been about 6 months since they've done anything to it, and it's starting to, it's just a skeleton. Wonder when they're going to finish that up. Thank you.
I thought they did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
They announced that they did.
Yeah, they're back at it. And it actually, I think, was closer to 9 or 10 months, if my math is correct, in which it sat fallow. But it is back. I drove by not too terribly long ago and saw construction activity on that. That's a bigger project than the 3-story building would lead you to believe, because they've got over 1,000 underground parking stalls.
Yeah, maybe they're working underground.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, that project is full speed ahead, and from everything I understand, should be a beautiful building.
They're the ones responsible also for all that landscaping on that 500 acres. So they're going really hard on that too.
Trent Magid, you sold a 3-story building in La Vista. Tell us about that really fast.
Yeah, that was neat. A private investor bought the old Mutual of Omaha Bank building. I still have the drive-through space, about 6,100 square feet, and then there's 5,000 square feet on the top floor. I think I've got a temporary tenant in there, but that's available as well. And this is right over by the convention center in La Vista and Costco.
Just north of Cabela's.
Yep, just north of Cabela's. And it's a beautiful building with signage on the interstate.
Yeah, definitely high profile.
I worked on that building 10, 12 years ago now.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah.
Now, we were trying to scramble during the break to see if we could find out any news about, everyone keeps talking about the rumor that Dillard's is going to the Westroads, and that's been heating up a little bit lately.
Yeah, I know we talked about it 6 months ago or so, maybe not on the air.
It's been going on for about 2 years.
Yeah, but...
and this is to the detriment of Oakview Mall, that Dillard's would move out of a building they own into the former Yonkers and expand it.
At least we assume that.
Let's say with things we've talked about on the show about Oakview, it makes sense that they would want to move over there, and Westroads acquired that property from the private developer that owned it.
We should start an industry reality show called Last Mall Standing.
I'll be very curious to see, because I think Westroads has a future.
Yeah,
and especially if they finalize this Dillard's deal, that will be huge. If the impressive mixed-use development to the west that we think is coming actually happens, that would be huge.
By Topgolf.
I also believe the same thing you believe, that you've said on air many times, that in 25 years everyone's going to be raving about these new indoor malls. So.
Totally. I want people to remember that. Yeah. That if, like, for instance, if Oakview can manage to stay upright and not get torn down, my prediction is 20 to 25 years from now, it will be a rage, because there will be so many of those malls that were destroyed. Those that survive will be hot commodities, and people will say, I can't believe the people in the 90s and the 2000s were so stupid as to tear down these beautiful malls.
Will they watch all the 80s movies?
Yeah. At any rate, music's playing. What's the last thing?
I was going to say, we will look up these questions we did not have answers to and get the information out to you as soon as we can.
Put them on Facebook.
Yep.
All right, so that's it. You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.